Hey, I'm Cash Fees. I'm 16 years old and I live on a ranch with my family in Eureka, Kansas. This is my horse Frosty.
Hi, my name is Henry Perrier and this is my horse Blue Jeans.
My name is Lyle Perrier and this is my horse Callie, or Caliente.
Hi, I'm Ava Perrier and this is my horse Buck, and I'm going to talk.
Hi, my name is Mesa Greenwood and I am 10 years old, and this is Sarge. He's my best friend.
Hi, my name is Callum Greenwood. I live in Greenwood County, American, and this is my horse Sarge.
Hi, my name's Claire Greenwood and I'm 5 and this is Cactus.
I'm Carly and I'm 11, and Cactus is...
Hi y'all, I'm Reese and this is my horse Doc.
12 years old. We use him on our ranch to doctor yearlings and just check our cows and calves and such. He's big and strong enough that he can rope a yearling and we can doctor it so it can get better, but he's got enough motor that we can go across the pasture and see all the sights in the Flint Hills because our pastures are pretty big out here. And he's got enough heart and a kind enough eye, we can still give him a treat when we're done. So.
15 years old and I got her from my grandparents, and I use her for like gathering cattle and helping my dad on the ranch. And
She is a sorrel color, which is a brown color. I got her from my grandparents that raised barrel horses.
5 or 8, and he's a bay. He has a strip down his head, and
He's 3 years old, and I'm going to train him to ride cattle and stuff. And Cactus is 9 or 10. He's a family horse, and
About 10 years old, and I ride him for lots of different things, but one of my favorite things to ride him for is ranch work. He's a sorrel horse, so he's all brown, and then he has a white mark right on his forehead.
a fun fact about her, when I got her, she was scared of cattle, but now she's used to them.
About 9 years old, and I like using her for moving cattle and stuff, but my favorite thing to do is to calf rope off of her. And she is a nice horse and she's really
to
smart.
ride him in the shodeos, and I can't wait to ride him ride cattle with my brother, sister, and my dad.
my favorite thing about him is he's brown and he's really good.
He eats carrots and apples and hay and grass and
Grain.
grain and water.
One of my favorite things about my horse is that he is just like my best Buck. And I'm going to talk to you today about horse care and what we do to take care of these horses. So, first of all, Buck's a ranch horse, and ranch horses don't take a lot of like feeding and maintenance. Basically, we can kick them out to pasture and they'll be fine on the grass and if they have water. Or during the spring and summer months, or the winter months when there's not much grass. But the spring and summer when we're using them quite a bit, we keep them in a pen, like a dry lot like this, and we feed them hay and then some like pelleted feed once in a while to keep their bellies full and giving them energy. So basically, for some hair care, before we ride them, we use a curry comb like this to get all the mud and dirt out of their coat, just like this. And the reason we do that is not only so we don't really need them to look pretty when we're on the ranch, but if we're at a show or something like that, we need them to look pretty. And the other reason is when we use a saddle and a saddle pad, if there's dirt here, it'll cause sores and rubs on their coat. We also, for the same reason, use a brush to get the lighter dirt and other stuff out. And another reason we use these curry combs is to get the shedding, like the hair that they shed off in the spring. We get that off. So another tool that we use to care for them is a hoof pick. That's to clean out their hooves when they have mud and other stuff in them. Buck will lift his foot up. Okay, so the hoof pit gets that mud and all that stuff out. And this right here is their shoe. Most all horses get shoed because when they're on this gravel, their hoof is like basically your fingernail. And so it's not very strong. So the gravel will hurt it and break the hoof and other things. And so one last thing that I have for horse care is, here, Anna, come over here, is we don't have to vaccinate horses or anything that much, but we do have to worm them every once in a while. And so we give them worms, or wormer, so they won't get parasites and other stuff in their stomach, which causes them some problems.
Kansas. Today I'm going to be talking to you about parts of the saddle and why they are important. The main part of the saddle is the seat, or the cantle. It's where the rider will sit. This is the swells. They help us stay on and grip when we're riding. On your swells you have the saddle horn. That's where we tie our ropes off. So when we when we rope cattle to doctor or move them, that we have somewhere to tie off to, and it's not just us getting drug off the horse. These two things here are called cinches, the front and the back cinch. They go around the horse's belly to help the saddle stay on and help the horse be comfortable. This is the breast collar. It goes around the front of the horse, and it just helps the saddle from sliding back, so it's more comfortable for the horse. These are the stirrups and the stirrup leathers. The stirrups are where we put our feet, and our legs are basically like our suspension when we're riding. These are tie strings. They help us after we rope our cattle. We tie them so they don't cause us any harm and we don't cause them any harm. Back here is the skirt of the saddle. On the skirt you have medicine bags, which is where we keep the medicine so we can doctor our cattle so they can get healthy. Thank you.
Hi y'all, so we're going to tell you a little bit about what we use horses for here on the ranch. So two of the things we use them for is gathering cattle and riding cattle. And when we gather cattle, we just gather them in all to one big group, and then we push them to the pens and sort them. And when we sort them, we're just sorting like the younger cows from the older cows, or we sort the moms from the babies so that it's easier to run them through to work them. And then we also use them for riding cattle. And so when we ride cattle, we just go through all the cattle and we count them and we make sure that everything's happy and healthy. And if they're not feeling well, we can vaccinate them. And horses are a lot easier to use in like when we ride cattle and gather them, because they can get through rocks and canyons and trees a lot easier than a four-wheeler. And they're kind of slower than four-wheelers, so you can take in the views and you can make sure that you got everything and that you counted everything correctly. And they're just a lot easier. And so, like I said earlier, my favorite thing about him is that he's my best friend. And I think for any horse kid that they can all say that their horse is pretty much like their best friend, because you get a bond with your horse and you spend a lot of time with your horse, so you end up having that connection. And so your horses take really good care of you, so we always try to take really good care of you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video about horses, and check back later for more.